So today we're going to have a look at how to make basses like Ed Rush Optical, like in the track Alien Girl. So let's get right into it. Here we have Serum, and inside of Serum we're going to start off with the default shape. And in this oscillator we want something with a fair bit of harmonics. So let's go for like, let's try on the digital section. Okay, this kind of thing. So kind of sine wavy but with lots of harmonics going on. And let's play around the wave position. You can see this gives us a few varieties, and let's add a distortion of some sort. Let's go for a soft saturation here, and let's just boost this up here somewhere. I could play about with this a bit. Something like that will do. Let's also bring this octave down one. And let's add some detuning to this as well. So we go to like 2, and let's bring this around about here somewhere. I'm going to put these on 0, the randoms as well. And let's put this onto filter mode. Let's take some of this bottom out. And now let's turn this down, and let's just use this as an FM signal. So let's put the PD to B on this one. And let's turn this up to around here somewhere. Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. We can play about that if we need to at some point. For now, though, let's come into the next section, which is probably going to be to create LFOs. So let's come to LFO 1. We're going to use 2 LFOs for this. So let's create a shape that looks something like this. We're going to put this onto a bar as well, rate. There we go. And now let's come into LFO 2 and set up LFO 2, and you should have something that looks like this. And we're also going to set this to a bar as well. We now need to set these to a filter. So let's come up to the filter. We'll start with LFO 1, and we'll pop that onto filter 1. So we're going to use 2 filters. So let's go into the filter here. Just put this on 50 or 0, sorry, first of all. Okay, so we've got that on 0, and we're going to do the same with this. So change this to filter and put the filter on also 50 for this one, like that. There you go. So now both of these sounds go through both filters. We'll turn filter 1 on first. Select it there. There we go. We'll choose a miscellaneous. Let's go for French, shall we? And let's play around with some of the settings here first of all. So maybe we can turn the drive up a bit. Maybe we can also just bring this cutoff down, and we can bring this in. This could also go up a little bit, maybe. This can also go here somewhere there. And then we'll set this to here, and it can go somewhere around here, I think. Let's check it. And then filter 2, we're going to turn this on as well. And we want this one to be similar. Let's go for a bass, for example. We can also have this one all the way down, and then this one's going to come here. We'll go all the way up like this. We can boost the resonance a bit. We can move the drive up a little bit. This automated as well a bit, so we'll do that a little bit like this. Okay, that's the kind of sound we're going for. So we've got the kind of basis of the sound together now, the kind of warp and some of the tonality. We just need to start bringing it together a bit more now. So one other thing we could do is add a noise on this as well. Let's go for a white noise stereo like this. We can also set this one to here. Bring that about there somewhere. And then in filter 2, let's just have that and that going through there. Okay, that's better. So now we're ready to go into the effects. I think we got the basis of the sound down. It's warping the right kind of way. It's got a right sort of tonality. We just need to go and sort of destroy it a bit in the effects. So let's come in here, and first of all, we're going to add a hyperdimension. I think let's turn the mix down here, and we'll have the mix up a bit here and the size down a bit. Around there somewhere. We'll also come in and out and put a distortion on, and let's really go crazy with this one. So let's overdrive it, and we'll stack it. We'll stack it up by 2, and let's put this like here. And this is where we could start really using these modulators here. So okay, we're starting to get there. Okay, so that's, as you can see, that's really destroyed it now. But we can take it further, and we can control some of this a bit as well. So let's add a bit of chorus next, just to thicken it up a bit. So let's go to the chorus, and we're just going to turn the mix down a tiny bit like this, and we can bring this down a bit. Okay, round about there somewhere will do. And then the next thing after the chorus we can add is an EQ to bring out some of the harmonics, and then we'll add a filter just to kind of tone it down a bit. So we've got a lot of grit coming through now, so just to control that after the EQ. So EQ, and we're going to set some of these parameters up here. So I think to the frequency and the gain here, let's just make sure that only goes one way, so Shift and Alt, and then that will change that. And we're also going to control the gain of this one. Let's put on like 40, something like that. Once again, Shift and Alt just to make this go one way. We'll just have it like there somewhere, and then this frequency range over here on the left, go up a little higher, maybe like there, and then let's just have this going somewhere like this for the moment. And then we'll do this one here, can go up by about there somewhere. Let's check this out. Okay, so one thing I forgot to do is make these bell shapes like this, like the peaks. So that needs to be a bit more subtle. Somewhere around there will do, and then let's come into the effects, and like I say, we're going to add the filter next. So we'll change this from a 6 to a 12. We'll have this around here somewhere. So you can see what we're doing here is we're just really bringing down that high end. You can have that around there somewhere, and then what we'll do is we'll add another distortion then. So let's go with distortion, but we'll use a different one this time. Let's go for like downsampling here. So we can kind of get that. So somewhere like there will do. And then after distortion, what we can add is this crazy filter, which I quite like using. So go into the filter, go into the new ones, and you'll find a diffuser filter in here, which is pretty cool. And what we'll do is we'll just turn this down a bit like there, and we'll add the stages to it as well. You can have a little bit of drive, maybe 10%, and then whack this up a bit. Okay, and then after this, we could maybe just add one compressor. So let's add that in single band mode. Okay, so we're basically there. And now what we would do is probably just go and tweak it a little bit here and there. But I would probably, after this, I would probably bounce it down, keep this preset, do a few variations, and then I would start post-processing it by adding more stuff on top of it. From here, I've kind of got more or less the sound I want. You could spend hours tweaking it in here, but I think it's better once you've kind of got an idea of the sound that you want to then go and start post-processing and use other plugins, etc., and techniques that you can progress the sound even more and just create different things out of it. But you could, like, if you like want to tweak this a bit, a good way of like tweaking things so that you don't completely lose what you've got and then have to remember what you did, etc., or press back, etc., is just put macros on things. So for example, I know like this might change a fair bit of something. I can make this go both ways as well. So just the same thing, Shift and Alt. Same thing, you see. I can play back with that both ways, see what happens. And then maybe the PD, same thing, just exactly the same process here. Give it a bit of range. Might do the high pass as well. Give it a bit of range. And then we can start tweaking these parameters with the macros, you see. Okay, so I think that's quite cool, and I think that goes to show you that like using these macros can be quite a good way of just tweaking some of your parameters, like without completely losing everything. So I could just, if I wanted to, I could now go to these, and for example, I could just bypass, 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 and then you can listen to how you had it before. That's how it originally sounded, and then turn the bypasses off, and then it sounds like this now. So I think this is pretty close to what we were aiming for, like Ed Rush Alien Girl style sound. and you could, like I say, post-process this more and get some more out of it. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to leave that up to you guys to see what else you could maybe add to this sound and get it even closer to the original type of sound. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something in this one. You take care of yourselves until the next one. Peace.